All right, this is a prediction. I feel like some skill sets that I maybe acquired over these 15 to 20 years of trying to uncover what the juxtaposition chart had to show me and indirectly the world, is allowed me to kind of be good at predictive elements of things. And I feel like somewhere around April 8th are eras of the positioning of where we're going as a society in the United States of America, and maybe by proxy the whole world is going in a certain direction that's different starting April 8th of 2024. But just without all the details of what's happened since then, in my mind, I want to talk about what I feel like is what I've been calling the tsunami's coming. I'm not an economist. I'm not a finance person. I'm not any kind of forecaster of anything really, other than just understanding how God works and the elements in which He uses coincidences to happen. And just the overall knowledge of pursuing God for about 50 years of my entire life. I just feel like I started seeing certain patterns that are in some ways unseen, but I could see it with my spirit or see it with my faith, and there's no instrument or tooling that's existing right now on earth that reveals those kind of things. But what I consider the tsunami that's coming is going to be something financial. And it's because we just had, when we record this, is maybe 4 or 5 days since we had the IT glitch of that update supposedly that happened, and it knocked everything offline for a period of time. I feel like in certain ways our financial systems, and not just like in '08 when our mortgage-backed security market pretty much died for about 2 years. I feel like this is going to be whatever it was during COVID that caused everybody to probably go into huge debt because no one saw that coming, and all of a sudden for about 2 or 3 months the whole world just stopped. No one's equipped for that. Any human anywhere wasn't equipped for that. And so to financially survive, I feel like we got pretty deep as a culture in debt because of the necessity of having to keep it on eating every day and paying our bills every day, because we enjoy having our electric on. We enjoy having a warm bed to sleep in. But I feel like that bubble's never been caught up with. And like I said, I feel like most all of the time that this financial stuff happens, back in 1988, we had the biggest drop of the stock market in our history of time. It was right around the first part of October. The 9/11 fallout was within a month of that first week of October. The mortgage-backed security crisis started falling apart right around the first part of October, last part of September. I feel like during that period of time, and the reason why I feel like it's that period of time, there's a lot of reports that come out for third quarter reports, and then it kind of gears us up for, as a country or as a financial system, kind of gears us up going into the first part or the last part of the year in the fourth quarter. But somewhere around that third quarter, right in that time, it just seems like that's where the certain calamities happen pretty routinely when they do exactly happen. They don't obviously always happen every year. In a lot of years, there's good stuff. But I feel like pretty soon, this bubble that we've created from our need to survive is going to come due. And the tsunami is going to happen. And it's not going to just be financial. It's going to be so far-reaching that everybody's going to have to dig deeper inside of themselves and really understand to their core what they truly, truly, truly believe in. And in some ways, when you figure out, hey, I'm not upholding any more of that crap, I'm not going to do any more of that fraud stuff, I'm not going to lie to myself anymore, and you come to that reconciliation, that's almost a freedom in itself, because now it's like, hey, all the past is off of me, all the past is gone, I'm going to go toward where I feel like I should go going forward as a mature adult. Because sometimes I know in my life, there's prices you pay for decisions you make when you're 20, decisions when you make when you're 16, that you're paying for almost sometimes your whole entire life. And then to get to a point where you can say, hey man, I'm going to use the tsunami for my advantage, and I'm going to dump off all those stuff that I didn't understand better back then, to where I now understand it with the way we see society and stuff now. We can go forward in a better way as a better person with a lot more positivity, because now we're not having to hang on to the past anymore. Whatever we had with the past, great. We're on the other side of it. Let it go. Let the tsunami wash it away. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I just feel like it's more of like a purification of getting back to the reality that really is reality. And maybe misguided in certain ways, like the way people have become what they call woke, is their sensitivities now toward different people groups, whether it's handicap or veterans or people of a certain sexual orientation. There's a lot of people who were maybe forgotten in a lot of the decision makings with stuff that we now have brought forward. But I feel like there's a commonality between all that and then all the people who don't necessarily fit any of those boxes. But there's a commonality of either caring about, have an opportunity to make a difference with, or even go the full length and have a certain level of love for each other, the way we love ourselves, the way we love the people we know, extend that out all through the non-destructive elements of what it means sometimes to start over and start pure. And I feel like the tsunami of what's coming is going to do exactly that. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is the non-destructive elements of what I feel like going to be the future going forward for the multiple generations, so people can stop thinking that the sky's falling every other day and that we're all going to have this doomsday kind of situation, because I think we have it within ourselves, using the different types of technologies in the right way and the different kind of communication forms that we have. We can actually repurpose, restore, and redo a lot of things that are maybe just slightly off. Like maybe the whole woke and the whole, compassion for other peoples that we never saw before. Maybe it's exactly what needs to happen, but we just have it slightly off. So we're thinking this person's an enemy if they don't believe this, or that person's an enemy because they do believe that. It's like if we could come together and understand where our gaps are, that we could fill in the gaps with the same kind of mortar of faith, because I feel like faith is the binder of all things. If we could get our faiths aligned and aimed properly, then nothing has to be destroyed at all. So maybe I just go into the next thing and just say that the next part of our human history, I feel like, is not a destructive one. It's one. How many DIY shows are on out there that show, hey, we had this old house and we repurposed everything and we kept the right kind of wood and we kept the right kind of window frames and all this other stuff. So you brought some of the old in with the new. And if so, for those of you old enough to remember when baseball opened Camden Yards with the Orioles, that was their thought process. It was like, hey, we don't want to destroy this building. It was a nice building, so it's over the right field fence. But they did so many things where they included the old architecture of what it was to be in that area with all the new stuff, that it was state of the art, and it was, winning all the awards of new stadiums back then. And I say we can do that same thing with so many different levels of things. We can do it with government. We can do it with how we approach our jobs. We can do it with how we approach the things that we value, whether it's your possessions or your house or the people that you meet as a coworker. I mean, there's so many things where we could use the opportunity to rebuild something and remake it, that we can blend in the good parts of the past with the newness or the up and coming pieces of our future, can blend them in seamlessly, where you bring in the things that matter and you just throw away the things that have no serviceability. And just do that in your whole life, whether it's with maybe it's somewhere you can reconcile with a relationship if possible, or you can do it with just really anything that comes in contact with your circle of influence. You can rebuild it, reuse it, repurpose it, and stop destroying stuff. It all starts and ends with us. As human beings, if we could just stop destroying things and stop creating all the enemies, and then go back to our privilege of gratitude toward our Maker, toward the Son of God who died for us, so that we have the access to the Father. If we could line that stuff up just a couple steps different than we have right now, who knows how awesome it could be. We've never lived there as a humanity. We never have. Why don't we take it to our politics, and our politics have the same kind of thing? In other words, instead of being pay for play and everything's up for sale, just do the right thing. Do the right thing for the people around you. The mayor should do the right thing for his city. The senator should do the right thing for his constituency. On and on and on, to where it proliferates throughout the whole world. And then we could have that kind of John Lennon, the song that everybody sings, escapes me right now. But it was called Imagine. The Imagine song. It seems kind of, pie in the sky, but honestly, if we just go back to our Heavenly Father, if we just go back to the reconciliation elements of what that takes, there's nothing we can't do. So there's no need to destroy and say, okay, we destroyed this, therefore we win. It's like, just bring everybody else along and everybody wins. Who cares? So in other words, instead of having a participation trophy, we all just get championship trophies because we're the champions of our own life. And I feel like you can do that by being good teammates with everybody around you. You don't have to be good teammates to the whole damn world, but you can be a good teammate to the people around you, starting with your kids, starting with your wife, starting with the people who you work closely with. All the people in your first level of influence, care about them and what they do in all the aspects, and ask them the same in return and expect it in return, and start treating people with respect that way. And who knows where it's going to start and stop? Who knows? We've never done it. We've always just hated people who wanted to fix things. We've hated people who wanted to love somebody else just unconditionally. It's like, why? That's the only way there is. Let's just stop with the hate. Let's just stop with that stuff. Just stop. The energy stops. The overthinking of how we get around somebody's business. Let's just stop all that energy usage and put that energy toward the reconciliation, the restoring, the rebuilding, the reusing, the regeneration of all the things that can be regenerated if we just stop hating, stop tearing things down, stop tearing people up, stop destroying different societies because they don't speak our language or have our belief system. Who cares about that? If it's not in your spectrum, if it's not in your circle of influence, does it really change your day to day? It surely doesn't. I know for me, speaking for myself, it doesn't for me. It rewards me more when I'm around people that I want to be around and that I want to help than if I force myself into somewhere that I'm now having conflict. That makes no sense. It's such a waste of energy. So I feel like somewhere in the ramblings that I'm doing right now, I feel like there's some element of truth that we can all grab so that we stop destroying things. And that's all I have for that.